The new Superman trailer gives us way more than just flashy clips. It gives us a good glimpse of James Gunn's grand reimagining of the DC universe. Beyond Superman soaring through clouds and Lex plotting in boardrooms, nearly every frame contains subtle details building towards something bigger. From comic book Easter eggs to clues about the real villain, let's jump into it and find the hidden details. A fresh take on Clark and Lois. The film opens with a familiar scene twisted in a new direction. Lois Lane interviews Superman, clearly referencing the iconic rooftop scene from the 1978 classic. But with a major difference. Lois already knows that Clark is Superman. They've been living together for 3 months. This isn't a journalist meeting a superhuman for the first time. It's two partners having a moment after they've already seen each other's vulnerable sides. The glasses aren't fooling her, even if the rest of Metropolis hasn't caught on yet. Gunn is humanizing Superman from the start, rather than retreading old territory and having him find that connection over time. Clark changes subtly when the interview begins. His voice deepens, his posture straightens. The Clark/Superman difference exists, but without exaggeration. When Lois is jokingly referred to as Walter Cronkite, it establishes that the DCU shares our own cultural notes. Real journalists exist in this fictional world. That simple reference gives Metropolis authenticity beyond being a basic comic book city. A close look at Lois's recorder reveals the Lord Tech logo. This connects to Maxwell Lord, played by James Gunn, confirming his quiet corporate influence in the DCU. It's telling that Lois uses Lord Tech instead of anything from Luthor Corp. As a veteran reporter, she probably distrusts anything with Lex's brand, a small detail that shows the depths of her journalism. The photo on their side table shows Lois's name written in clouds, a skywritten message from Superman. It's both cheesy and perfect for his character, grounding his affection in small gestures that most people would miss. Nearby sits an abandoned breakfast for dinner beside a Daily Planet mug. This is likely a sign of how busy and stressful the everyday lives of our main characters can be. But things aren't all cozy for the couple. Superman versus the world. The interview, a main piece of the trailer, takes a very serious tone. Lois challenges Superman about intervening in Boravia, a fictional nation caught in violent conflict. Superman claims he just wanted to save lives, but his uninvited intervention crossed international boundaries, angering governments and triggering media frenzy, and giving Lex Luthor exactly the opening he's been waiting for. Enter the Hammer of Boravia, a mysterious armored figure with powers mirroring Superman's. Most evidence suggests he's not a new character made for the movie, but Ultraman in disguise. Ultraman is a Superman doppelganger, possibly cloned and deployed by Lex to undermine public trust in the Man of Steel. The armor features a color scheme associated with Luthor's war suit. This could be a prototype of Lex's full armor or a puppet suit designed to frame Superman, and it works perfectly. Media broadcasts show widespread destruction. Buildings collapse, people suffer. The public begins questioning whether Superman causes more problems than he solves by getting into people's affairs uninvited. It's a classic Luthor move, attacking Superman not physically, but going after what really matters, his reputation to those he serves. In one scene, Superman gets hit with a can while walking through a crowd. What matters isn't the projectile, but his reaction to it. The first teaser showed him flinching. The updated trailer removes that reaction completely. He doesn't even blink, just maintains his forward gaze and ignores it. A small adjustment that reinforces both his physical invulnerability and his emotional resilience to people's anger. Even small editing choices like this tell us something about how Gunn wants to portray his Superman. Later, Superman allows himself to be arrested. Standing over him are Rick Flag Sr., the engineer, Angela Spica with her nanotech suit, and the mysterious Ultraman. Together with Flag representing the government's metahuman response team, the message becomes clear. Superman is being contained, controlled, and limited. This feels like Gunn's way of addressing the Superman is too powerful problem by focusing on the social and political consequences of his actions rather than finding some contrived way to weaken him physically. Why would Superman permit this arrest? Because public trust outweighs winning any battle. This isn't about physical strength, but symbolic power. Similar to his surrender in Man of Steel, he submits not to human authority but to human fear, hoping vulnerability might change the narrative around him. It's a mature take on superheroism that acknowledges power comes with responsibility, something the DCEU has struggled with in previous iterations. Looking deeper at these scenes reveals something else that's fascinating about Gunn's approach: the fortress and family. The Fortress of Solitude appears as a crystal monument rising from snowy terrain, directly calling back to the Reeve films, rather than using alien technology with technical interfaces. It's beautiful, classical, and unfortunately compromised. Lex and his associates invade violently. One theory suggests Ultraman's DNA closely matches Superman's, tricking the fortress security into granting access. This genetic similarity might allow Lex to access sensitive Kryptonian information. It's a simple but smart plot device that gives Lex access to Superman's sanctuary without resorting to complicated hacking plots, as well as creates the ultimate villain for Superman, a messed up evil version of himself. Krypto defends the fortress, showing both loyalty and emotional connection to Superman. Based on James Gunn's own dog, Krypto isn't just comic relief but a genuine protector. Behind-the-scenes info reveals he technically belongs to Supergirl, with Superman just dog-sitting. Rumors suggest Millie Alcock might briefly appear as Supergirl to reclaim him, connecting this story to the broader DCU without distracting from the core narrative. Krypto's presence adds another layer of emotional vulnerability to Superman. He doesn't just care about humans, but has formed attachments to other survivors of his home world. There are a ton of cool background details that are almost unnoticeable in this trailer. Street signs bearing names like Ross and Wade honor legendary Superman creators Alex Ross and Mark Waid. In one powerful shot, Superman crashes into the pavement as broken bricks cover the area. A bystander steps forward to help him stand. John Williams' iconic theme plays not during triumph, but during apparent defeat. This reinforces that Superman's true power lies in inspiring ordinary people, even when he appears beaten. Lex's master plan. Lex haunts the trailer, both visually and thematically. One shot we got teased with shows him watching Superman fly past his window at Luthor Corp. While everyone looks up at Superman, Lex looks across directly, seeing himself as an equal, almost reaching the superiority which he seeks so desperately. His skyscraper headquarters features 2 towers connected by bridges, symbolizing his ego and ambition to unite power under his control alone. The conflict transcends physical battles into ideological warfare. Lex wants to prove Superman fundamentally doesn't belong among humans. His weapon of choice to do this is public opinion. Like Mysterio turning the world against Spider-Man in Far From Home, Lex likely manipulates footage, crafts narratives, and weaponizes the media. This updates the genius villain concept. Lex doesn't need kryptonite or raw power when cameras and misinformation work better to tear Superman down. It's a villain plan that feels perfectly tailored for our current era of social media and fake news. He captures Superman at his worst moments, ensuring any destruction gets documented and widely distributed, which no doubt is what leads to his explosive interview with Lois. When you can't defeat a symbol through force, you corrupt what it represents to weaken it from within. Lex systematically undermines Superman's most valuable asset. This feels like a smart evolution of the character, making him dangerous not just because he's rich and smart, and no doubt could plot a battle, but because he understands modern information warfare and uses it as a greater tool. Part of this plan involves unleashing what appears to be a kaiju, a massive flaming creature battling Superman through downtown. Toy leaks and insider info suggest it might be a Kryptonian specimen stolen from the fortress and released to create chaos. Alternatively, it might have crossed through a kind of dimensional rift. Either way, it serves as a pawn rather than an independent villain, a calculated tool to force Superman into destructive public confrontations, which can then be used to mock and shun him. When Superman fights this creature, he'll inevitably cause collateral damage, playing right into Luthor's hands. But as well as the action sequences, the trailer emphasizes relationships. Brief glimpses of Pa Kent show him as Superman's moral anchor, with his voice offering wisdom about duty and humility. Flashbacks include young Clark embracing his father and an injured Superman recuperating in his childhood bedroom, with Krypto comforting him. These moments aren't just sentimental. They establish emotional stakes beyond physical danger. They remind us that even with all his power, Superman was raised by humans who shaped his values, and he is much like us in certain ways because of this. We even see Martha Kent preparing to shine Clark's boots. Although this has a lot of symbolism in the trailer, it has an authentic human touch to it. To the world, he might be godlike, but to her, he remains her son, her baby, whom she'll always do whatever she can to aid. These quiet and simple scenes remind us that Superman's strength flows from values and connections with people rather than just raw, otherworldly powers. This aligns with Gunn's vision to portray a Superman who people can deeply relate to, shining a light on the more human side of the legendary superhero. Martha's simple act of care contrasts sharply with the global chaos surrounding her son, keeping him rooted in the love and kindness of family. The Daily Planet staff that we see includes comic-accurate characterizations. Jimmy Olsen appears as the enthusiastic photographer capturing Superman's exploits. Cat Grant runs gossip columns. Steve Lombard brings his signature arrogance straight from All-Star Superman. The newsroom background contains subtle tributes to Superman creators Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster through props and naming details. This attention creates a very lived-in metropolis rather than just a generic cityscape, with plenty of references for fans of the comics. It feels like Gunn has actually read the source material and cares a lot about getting these supporting characters right. Outside the newsroom, we glimpse the Justice Gang, a government-sponsored hero team including Mr. Terrific, Hawkgirl, and Guy Gardner. Under Lord Tech management, they represent institutionalized heroism, a regulated, controlled, and profitable burst of saving the day. Superman contrasts this by following his morals regardless of politics and disconnects himself from business entirely. Rumored ad spots show Mr. Terrific fighting alongside Superman and Krypto, suggesting he might switch allegiances after discovering some uncomfortable truths. Gunn has stated that he's by far the most important of the group when it comes to the plot, giving credence to this theory. One of the trailer's most impactful moments arrives when Superman crashes to the ground before a crowd, beaten down and exhausted. A civilian steps forward to help him stand. The classic Williams Superman theme swells not during heroic flight, but during apparent failure, because even at his lowest point, Superman inspires ordinary goodness and finds the will to carry on. That's his enduring legacy. It's a powerful inversion of what we expect from superhero moments. The camera lingers on this moment, much like Spider-Man 2's train sequence, where passengers lifted an unconscious Peter Parker after he risked his life for them. These cinematic echoes serve a new purpose here. They emphasize that heroism isn't defined by just victory, but by perseverance, and by the community that supports you through struggles. Superman isn't just saving people. Sometimes people save him too. Not physically, but spiritually, encouraging him to keep moving forward no matter what faces him. And that's really what Gunn is going for. It's a movie that seeks to honor and celebrate the incredible story of Superman, his ups, his downs, and above all else, the amazing impact he's left on countless lives over the decades. So, with all this in mind, are you hyped for the movie like us? Do you think all these hidden details and commitment to the roots will lead to the best Superman movie we've ever had? Are there any Easter eggs we missed? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, drop it a like, and if you want to see more Marvel and DC content, click the video on screen now.